Good morning, everybody. It's time for morning manna, and this morning, it's all about the real relationships. How do I get into and maintain a real relationship? What does that look like? A real relationship, whether it is a spousal, husband and wife relationship, whether it is a significant other, someone I'm dating, whether it is someone with my children, grandchildren. What does a real relationship look like? Well, that's what we're talking about on this morning's manna. How is everybody on this morning? What a wonderful morning it is. Want to greet some folk real quick, but I definitely want us to do something. Can you pray? And let's continue to pray for our country. You do know that as a result of the president signing executive orders, DEI programs are eliminated. They're done. They're over. I hope that all of those who felt as if this was good for the country realize that it's not. It really isn't. But that's not what we're going to talk about this morning. I just wanted to get that word out. We really need to pray for our country, pray for those that have rule over us, and real relationships. What does a real relationship, the real relationships look like? So before I get into that, good morning, Gerald. How are you on this morning? Ramona, how are you? And Ramona, please, you're not a free agent. You can't just go out here and start volunteering for somebody else. You need to check in before you do that. You know I'm talking about you about stepping up and serving at a whole nother level. So don't leave, don't. We got something for you. We're putting it together. Trust me when I tell you, we're putting it together so you can put all of those gifts and graces together to change lives. Good morning, Deacon Joe. How are you on this morning? Ella, how are you on this morning? Cece, how are you? Laura, how are you? Arlene, how are you? Gloria, how are you? Vaughn, how are you? Lydia, how are you doing on this morning? Ori, how are you? Elder Mobley, how are you? Brenda, how are you doing on this morning? Dawn, how are you doing on this morning? Ella, how are you on this morning? Verena, how are you? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Everybody is well. I hope. Patrice, how are you? Brother Pope, how are you? Gloria, how are you on this morning? Pastor Richard, I got you. I got you. I got to get to it. I got to get to it. It's no later than tomorrow. I know that you stand in the need of help. Got you, Pastor. You're doing a great work there. Shout out to my pastor in Africa. Awesome man of God, awesome woman of God, Minister Annie beside him. It's just an awesome, just shout out to them. Good morning, Francine. How are you? Bev, how are you? Tally, how are you? Valerie, how are you on this morning? Peggy, how are you on this morning? Cynthia, how are you on this morning? Elder Jan, how are you on this morning? If you were at um, our Word on Wednesdays at New Life last night, for one, oh my God, it was an awesome meal from our chef. That was an awesome meal, awesome fellowship, and then the word, the prayer time, and all of that. And we're coming to that. We're coming to next week. We're going to be all about prayer, revival, and deliverance. But nevertheless, God moved. God moved. And one of the things that I did, and I'm going somewhere with this, hang in here. We're talking about relationships. Let me get around to it. One of the things that I mentioned in terms of how do we need to flow in prayer is to know that prayer is communication in a relationship, in a relationship. And therefore, when we look at this morning's manna, let's look at it through the lens of prayer and relationship. The text to talk to take away 5 minutes or less. Here we go. Philippians 2:5. In your relationships with one another, watch this, listen, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. In your relationships with one another, does not matter your siblings, your children, your TT, your aunt, uncle, whatever, have the same mindset. What is he saying here? The word mindset, the Greek word for mindset, reflects an attitude or disposition. And with respect to relationships, what helps is that it has to be a relationship built around communication. There's three things that I want you to grab a hold of with respect to building the real relationships through the lens of communication and prayer. One, it must be revealing. It must be revealing. Christ-like humility strengthens relationships because our relationships should be revealing, should reveal who we are. Who wants to be in a false, fanciful front relationship? Not me, and I'm sure not you. I want to be in a real relationship that is revealing who I am, transparency. And that comes through my prayer. Second is this. It needs to be reverent. It needs to be reverent. When I'm in a relationship with someone, I needed to have an honor. I needed to have an exchange of mutual and equal respect and humanity as to who I'm dealing with. We both come to the table in that manner. So prayer does that. It aligns me with knowing that I can be reverent with any and everybody. I don't have to put myself above, I can put myself beneath. The second, the third thing is this: robust. Robust. When I'm looking for real relationships, I need it to be revealing of who I am, transparency. I needed to be reverent, respectful of who I am, and I needed to be robust with love. Robust with love. You can always tell a loving, caring relationship by the amount of communication, and in this instance, prayer. When it's full of love, when it's full of that, it's robust, and that's a real relationship. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: is simple, not hard. Be real in your relationships. Be the real in your relationships. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. If this manna bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. God bless you. Bye now.